go out having fun on Halloween like you used to. Come back here. Come back here.
They used to say this about me all the time, along with many other cruel remarks. Until I discovered the secret of how to do it right.
Well now, look at this. Aren't you rather a big boy to be out trick-or-treating, Sonny?
Every year it got worse. By the time I was 37, I could no longer abide their sneers and jibes. Which is when I hit on my great idea, or method. You can do it too. First of all, use your doll's tea set, along with your doll's tables and chairs to create a festive little party area in your living room. Then put jolly jack-o'-lanterns in your front window and all around the front room. You'll find that a few well-placed jack-o'-lanterns provide a good rosy glow, plus plenty of delightfully spooky shadows. Especially if the rest of the house is kept pitch black. Next, don your Halloween costume. I myself prefer to wear a mixed costume combining a long granny dress with lots of pancake makeup, feathery plastic eyelashes, a carrot nose, green fingernails, a brocade fez, and skeleton feet over my shoes. You should do the same, do the same, do the same. Now you're ready! When you see some trick-or-treaters approaching that you would like to have at your party, throw open the door and invite them in. Then seat them in the little chairs around your table. An important note. Generally, I find it best to invite only those trick-or-treaters who are accompanied by a parent or some other adult guardian, thereby avoiding the risk of malign gossip or sexual innuendo. But how your guests will exclaim over the tiny dishes of candy corn and the orange and black cookies you have set out, admiring how everything is shaped and decorated to resemble pumpkins, and cats and witches astride broomsticks, and other cunning Halloween motifs. Hey everybody! Come have a cup of delicious orange Halloween punch! Then fill the little doll cups and pass them around to your guests. It doesn't matter what kind of orange punch you use. It's the special secret ingredients that are important. I myself use 20 drops of curare, mixed with a teaspoon of canned green beans, which have been allowed to sit out for 6 months, developing the proper strains of botulism, because when the trick-or-treaters drink this mixture and it begins to take effect, it will soon render them powerless to move or to speak, but not unconscious. And they will remain in their chairs in attitudes of polite attentiveness for the rest of the evening, while the secret ingredients are taking hold. Sit there at the table talking to your guests, showing off your dress and giving evidence of your tinkling laugh. Oh, looks like you're all falling asleep. You're tired too, I can tell. When your party guests are transfixed and in a state of perfect hypnotic receptiveness to your every suggestion, with staring cod-like eyes. Show your dolls around the table and introduce each one by name. And then
Aren't they nice?
give each guest a doll to hold, or at least to balance on his or her lap.
Here, little girl in the cute witch's costume. I'm going to let you hold Princess Susan. She's a beautiful Hungarian wedding doll. Her head and cheeks still bear the many 3- and 4-inch scars from where she was flung repeatedly against the wall by her previous owner, Mr. Bruno Hauptmann. Here you go. And your mommy gets to hold Tiny Ann, the peg doll. She's a real antique. But her head and her little dress were lost in the big South Chicago orphanage fire back in 1906. And you, my little man in the fine goblin costume, you may hold this funny, smiling clown doll. His name is Ronnie. And you can see, I think, where many years ago this mean old chow dog named Ronnie chewed off both his arms.
By now your guests are starting to slump and nod a bit. Time for the treat of the evening. A rousing, old-fashioned Halloween story, and you have selected a fine one.
It used to be, whenever I tried to tell this story, people would interrupt or refuse to listen or shove and punch me so I fell to the ground. I can't imagine why, except they were nothing but a pack of rude, inconsiderate poops, I imagine.
And as you look around the table at your guests and notice with satisfaction how quiet and attentive they are...
Ah, but how nice it is these days to have such a polite and eager audience.
Then, dramatically, you announce the name of the story you have chosen.
Sir Laurence Olivier and the Drunkard Hate. My very favorite story, and I hope yours too. And yours and yours.
Thus, you begin the story. And this makes the perfect ending for the kind of Halloween you have always dreamed might someday be. Sir Laurence Olivier and the Drunkard Hate.
Well, one night, a number of years ago, Sir Laurence Olivier was giving the greatest performance of his career in the role of Hamlet. He was performing before a packed house at the London Palladium. He had just reached the part in Act 5 where Hamlet delivers those famous lines, "That skull had a tongue in it and could sing once." Suddenly, from the very top row of the second balcony, this obnoxious drunkard Haint stood up and shouted, "I say, Olivier, sing Melancholy Baby!" It was a dreadfully rude interruption, of course, but Olivier managed to maintain his composure and continued on with what was undoubtedly the most stellar performance of his career. A little later, when he reached the lines, "Sir, his definement suffers no perdition in you," it happened again. "I say, Olivier, sing Melancholy Baby!" This time, for perhaps a split second, Olivier paused. But with iron control and a fierce concentration of will, he managed to control himself, and the performance went on. Although, as you might imagine, there was a good deal of angry muttering, rumbles from the audience of, "Throw that drunkard Haint out!" Nevertheless, the play continued to build to its tragic and exciting climax, with Olivier continuing to give what was clearly the performance of his life. Then, just as he was about to choose a sword for Hamlet's duel, about to utter the words, "This likes me well," it happened again. "I say, Olivier, sing Melancholy Baby!" Well, this was too much, even for Olivier, and halting his performance in mid-sentence, he strode to the footlights in a perfect fury and shook his fist at the drunkard Hank high up in the second balcony. You up there! I don't know Melancholy Baby! Do you hear me? I don't know it! But even if I did know Melancholy Baby, I wouldn't sing it for you!
Well, Olivier, then show us your penis!